In this video, I'm going to be explaining some of the rationale behind the category weighting and term weightings that we've set up. One of the great things about PowerTeacher Pro is that it lets us push out these grade calculation formulas at the diocese level or at the school level. This prevents a lot of errors at the end of the trimester where if you haven't set up your category weighting, you might have really odd grades that come out, or you may have no grades at all that work in the grade book, that show up in the report card. So this is really important. Any teacher who's been with us knows that every year you have to put in these categories and term weightings, and now you don't have to do that setup. It's already done for you. So let me show you how it's been set up, and I'll explain why. I'm going to start with the year. The year's been set to term weighting. This is basically set so that each trimester is worth an equal value in the end of the year grade. This is a really important setting. You can imagine that if we were using the default and just calculating total points, that when you have one trimester with more assessments than another, it becomes more valuable. So if you happen to do more assessments in trimester 1 and then fewer in trimester 2 and even fewer in trimester 3, this first trimester ends up counting quite a bit more. And what's problematic about that is it doesn't give students a chance to improve over time, right? Then they have more assessments here, so that's going to drag down their scores. So that's why we have it set to term weighting, and that's going to be set for everybody. I'm going to close this and not save any changes. In our trimesters, we have category weighting. Let me show you how that works. We have two graded categories. We have summative assessments and we have formative assessments. Now, we've been scaffolding this up over time. 2 years ago, the breakdown was 75% summative, 25% formative. By moving to 80%, 20% last year, and then 90%, 10% this year, we're getting closer and closer to the idea of standards-based grading. The 10% formative, right, is letting us kind of see the work that students have done, the stuff that the effort they're putting out. But what we really are concerned with is what they know and what they can do. And that's supposed to be reflected in the summative assessment. Now, this has been set for you at your school, and this is set for everybody. If your school feels like they need a change from this, maybe they're not quite ready for 90-10, they want to go back to 80-20, or maybe you want to try a different way of doing this. Maybe you want to have tests and quizzes and projects that all add up to 90%. The way you can do that is you have to get it approved through your principal, and your principal has to get it approved through the superintendent's office. So contacting Linda Bassman through that office. It's a very simple change, but the reason we have to set this up and default it for everybody is to make sure that your grades are really reflecting the values that you have in your school. The other reason this is a school-based decision is that it helps provide consistency across the entire school so that parents and staff and also high schools that are looking at your grades can get a really good sense of what those grades are reflecting. So that's why and how the grade calculations have been set up for traditional graded courses.